Hello everyone, Top Tom here bringing you guys another video. Now, Ash said goodbye to many of his traveling companions. Here, I am counting down the top 8 saddest goodbyes of Ash's traveling companion. Here, I am going to include all Ash's traveling companion, even including that lonely guy. Let's get started. Number 8. At number 8, we have Tracy. Okay, I admit I should have done a top 7 instead of a top 8 because Tracy's goodbye wasn't sad, but instead happy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with the sad part. Tracy was a companion who traveled with Ash throughout the Orange Island. In the episode The Rivalry Revival, Ash said goodbye to Tracy. People who loved the Orange Island and hated Brock is sad to see Tracy leave. But that's pretty much it. The goodbye itself wasn't sad. Literally, halfway through the episode, Tracy said he was going to stay with Professor Oak, and 5 minutes later, we see Ash, Misty, and Brock going to Johto. Not only that, Tracy is a companion who traveled with Ash for only 30 episodes. All of Ash's traveling companions have at least traveled with Ash for 100 episodes, with Brock traveling over 600 episodes. 600 episodes! Tracy replaced Brock, one of Ash's best friends, in the Orange Island. I think most people will be glad that Tracy is actually gone. Number 7. At number 7 we have Iris and Silent. This one is also not sad. First, let's start with the sad part. Iris and Silent travel with Ash through Unova region. In the episode Best Wishes Until We Meet Again, Iris jumped up and said she wanted to go to Johto. Silent said he wanted to go to Hoenn to meet a fishing master. Anyways, people love the Best Wishes series, and those who love Iris and Silent, it's sad to see them leave. But as I said, this goodbye wasn't even sad at all. Halfway through the episode, they wanted to leave, and literally 3 minutes later, they hopped on a train and left. Even though I get some fans can be sad about this episode, it's not something that's sad to me. Even though no one wants them to leave, leaving actually made some people happy. This goodbye also started the best Pokemon anime series ever, the XY series. So that's why I ranked this goodbye so low in this list. Number 6. At number 6 we have Brock's last goodbye in Memories Are Made of Bliss. Brock is Ash's longest traveling companion from Kanto to Johto to Hoenn to Sinnoh. What made this goodbye so low is emotionless. Ash and Brock shake hands as they go separate ways in this episode, and we, or at least I, thought Brock was going to come back in the next series, just like Brock always have. Sadly, Brock didn't come back, but we were introduced the new protagonist, so getting over it was quite easy. Number 5. At number 5, we have Max and May in Homeward to Saddest. May wanted to head to Johto, which means Max had to head home to Petalburg City with his parents. May wasn't exactly sad, but similar to the next goodbye, the little brother Max was pretty upset, having to say goodbye to everyone. Ash manages to convince Max to finally head home with his Saddest. The goodbye itself wasn't really sad, but once it shows the emotions that Max is like so sad that he's leaving, you can't help but feel sorry for Max having to leave. Number 4. This spot goes to Clement and Bonnie in A Zero With No End Until the Day We Meet Again. This was before the English dub version came out, so I don't know the exact title of it, so I just used the English sub version title of it. I ranked this goodbye higher than the last goodbye because of Bonnie's speech. I mean, that speech is just so emotional. Clement had to stay in Kalos for Jim and ultimately for Clembot, and Bonnie had to stay with Clement and therefore had to leave Serena and Ash. This made little Bonnie a little upset. Bonnie's feeling made her friend Dedenne upset as well and runs off. Bonnie chases after Dedenne and convinces her that life is still worth living. Bonnie convinced Dedenne that he is going to be the number 1 in Kalos. That's his goal, and the speech is just so emotional and you couldn't help but feel sad that Bonnie is leaving, which is the reason why I ranked this goodbye so high on the list. This also starts the actually emotional goodbyes of Ash's companion, in my opinion that is. Number 3. At number 3 we have Dawn, Your Memories Are Made of Bliss. this goodbye would have been number 2, but I have reasons. Maybe those reasons are dumb, but they're still reasons. First of all, the reason why Dawn had to stay in Sinnoh is absolutely lame. She stays in Sinnoh because of Bunnery. What a lame reason! None of the other reasons are that lame. Anyways, Dawn's departure was one of the rather sad goodbyes. Because as the trio thank each other for everything, they just stand there, neither of them wanting to leave, before Dawn gives Ash the token high five as they head off. That's when Dawn tried to hold back her tears. Anyways, anyone who watches the journey between Ash and Dawn will feel sad for them leaving. It just leaves you empty inside. And especially that Dawn's crying, it's very, very sad. At least that's for me. Number 2. If you haven't seen my live reaction video on Serena Kisses Ash, you should go watch it. This spot really shouldn't go to Serena's goodbye, but I have reasons. Maybe if it weren't for the kiss, I would have put it below even Tracy. Okay, maybe below May and Max. Okay, maybe above May and Max, but below Bonnie and Clement. But before the kiss, Serena and Ash are just normally traveling companions. After the kiss though, Serena and Ash is sort of officially canon, and if it weren't for the kiss, I would have treated it like any other companion. But seeing the kiss and knowing Serena's never coming back, you couldn't help but feel that you were about to cry. After 20 years, Pokemon have finally canoned the ship, and the episode they canoned, they made the two people sad. Pokemon Company have outdone themselves, and seeing two potential couples separate is just never the same as seeing two friends separate, especially with Serena and Ash having so many good moments together. If you just watched this episode would seem so emotionless to you. This episode would rank like at number 6 compared to all the other episodes. But if you have seen every single episode of X and Y, and you see this episode, you are gonna cry, honestly. After all that they've been through, seeing Serena's going down the elevator just hit me hard. I cut off this scene in the live reaction, but during Serena's flashback, I had tears in my eyes. And also, this is one of the proper anime endings, with proper, flashbacks, and all those flashbacks just made me so sad, especially Ash's flashback. And this is why this goodbye ranks so high in this list. Number 1. Okay, so after so much has happened, we finally arrived at number 1. I know we can all agree that Misty and Brock in Gotta Catch Her Later is the saddest goodbye. What else is there to say? After 300 episodes of adventures in the Pokemon world, Misty had to go back as a gym leader, and Brock had to run some errands at home. Even though this was a short goodbye, taking only 10 minutes, compared to, Serena, Clement, and Bonnie's goodbye, taking the full episode, I just don't feel like watching the rest of the 10 minutes, because by then you'll be overwhelmed by tears. That is, if you watch the entire Pokemon Season 1 through 5. This episode starts off with a call from Misty's sister saying that they had to leave because they won a world trip. Misty looked really sad, but Ash wasn't exactly sad. This made Misty so angry because Ash actually seemed happy about Misty's departure. Then Misty got in trouble with a gangster with Team Rocket behind all of this, which Ash and Brock saved her from. That's when we see Ash actually look sad about it. Ash and Brock walk together with Misty to the place that separates Pallet Town, Computer City, to Cerulean City. On the way there, Misty said the last few words to Ash, and a flashback to everything they've been through, with Misty Goodbye Son as the background music. This just made me cry so much. As Misty is about to leave, Brock said he also had to run some errands at home and had to leave too. As they go their separate ways, you couldn't help but cry, because this episode will continue on without Misty and Brock. The episode will continue on without our beloved character. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. So sad. Okay. See you guys next time. Outro.